Hey guys, welcome back to releasethecraftin. Priscilla here with a little book haul share for you guys today because I went on an adventure. I went to this place called Recycled Reads in Austin, and it's the Austin Public Library's like second chance bookstore. So the stuff the library is like, I don't want it, comes here. But then they also take donations and stuff, and some of the stuff goes to the library, some of the stuff goes to the bookstore. So yeah, I found this store today, and it was really fun, and I got a ton of things because you can see how close we are to the camera here. I got a bunch of stuff, and I wanted to share it with you guys, not because it's anything super special, but because I had a good time. So I hope that you guys will join me here and see what I got. I don't really have that much space today because I've been crafting and my desk is a mess, so you know, it is what it is. Let me make slightly more room here. That's not quite enough for showing things. There we go. That's better. The camera's all crooked and everything. I'm a professional. Alright. So I got a bunch of poetry books, to be honest, you guys. They had a really great set of like indie small publisher poetry books. So you can see these all came from the library. They still have their library stickers on them. So you're going to see a bunch of those because I spent the majority of my time standing like a little gremlin in the poetry section being like, look at all this books. So here we are. So I got this one. This is called Appearances. It's by Michael Cullen. I don't know why. Something drew me to it. Probably this one about myth. I looked for some keywords. I like to look for publishing that's like very particular in its style. I find that to be very attractive, not for the sake of reading, but because it just catches my eye. So then I'm like, okay, if I don't like the book of like poems, you know, when I read through it, if I don't like it, it'll always make really great journal fodder. So like, I think that's like the win-win. Like, unusual text will make good book pages for journals. So if I don't like it, you'll see it up here because I'm going to rip it apart and turn it into journal stuff. If I do like it, it'll go on my shelf and I'll save it. But I don't lose anything. I think the cover's really pretty too. But that is Appearances. Oh, I don't have any space to put it down after I'm done. And then I got The Ghost of Merida. I'm not Hispanic, so I can't pronounce things, so bear with me on this one. But this is the thrilling accounts of souls, spirits, and ghosts of Mexico's most haunted city. And I think, yep, there it is. There's the info. And I thought this was just a cool book. It has some really great graphics, which are neat. But I thought, you know, since I'm doing Storycraft, it would be nice to have some stories to tell you. And I think some spooky ghost stories from a very haunted city would be pretty cool. So I thought this was just a cool find. And yeah, look forward to maybe getting some spooky ghost stories up on the channel coming up here soon. Because yeah, this is cool. This is a cool little find. It still even has the security tag from the library in it, which is neat. Not that I'm going to use that for anything, but here's where we get into the donated books. Because this actually came from Half Price Books, but I didn't pay for this at Half Price Books, and I didn't pay that price. I got it for even less. So it was total fine. This is The Nature of Greek Myths. There's the little ISBN, the ISBN, if you are interested. Oh, that's also right here too. That's also much more easier to read. But I thought it was just interesting. I love Greek mythology, and this one has a little bit of like a breakdown of every myth that they go over, and like a little bit of like the psychology, a little bit of the history behind it. And I do like having a better or more in-depth understanding of the things that I consume. So I thought this was just a fun read. So this is for me. Definitely. And then I got You Can Be the Last Leaf, Selected Poems by Maya Abu al-Hayat. Translated by Fadi Judah. And I don't know if any of that was pronounced correctly. I said it with confidence, but I don't have that confidence. And this was another really beautiful book of poems. And I did spend a lot of time reading these ones while I was in my gremlin stage. And I thought that these were really beautiful. So this one's definitely just going on the collection plate. Although who knows, like, my mind may change as time goes on, and I may end up turning it into journal stuff. But for right now, I really just enjoyed reading it. So I'm going to be keeping this one. This looks like a really beautiful book of poems. And I just punched my camera with my book. I just really liked that one. And then I found this one. And this is Door by Leah Noble Davidson. Words are so hard, especially when they're names. There's the infos. And it's by University of Hell Press, which is interesting. I've never heard of that publisher. And what struck me was I was reading the back of this book, and everything was like talking about how like it's a good story, you know, how great this author is. She's a really great poet. And then I got right here, and it says this book is Lakin on crack. And I was like, you know, say less, fam. Say less. So then when I went to go read this, I was like, huh. So already like drawn in by these like photos, drawn over photos of doors. And then as I'm going through it, every page is just like really particularly designed, but they all come with a quote about a door or something in regards to like space and moving through places. So a lot of liminal stuff. And then a little tiny like blurb underneath after the fact. So like this one says how divorce is different than breaking up. And then this is from How I Met Your Mother. Ted, tell her the story about the really heavy door. And then there's just this whole little blurb here that doesn't really have anything to do with a heavy door. And then down here there's like a little footnote that says divorce, a door that will not close. And I was just like, wow, this is very intriguing. I think it's definitely going to end up as journal stuff because I don't know how much of this I'm going to want to keep. But I also just really like the pages with the books on them. And like I said, I get really drawn to stuff that's like really graphically designed or super over designed for poetry. So I will read through this, and then I'm probably most certainly going to tear it up because I like these doors and I think it's just a really interesting concept. It was very intriguing. So I'm excited about this one. And then I got this, literally I was in the checkout and I leaned over and there was like a bunch of putbacks from people who were too lazy to go walk their books back across this tiny bookstore, I guess. It's fine. They have a putback thing. It's a library thing, right? And I leaned over and the guy was like, anything else? There's no rush. You can get whatever you want. And I just snatched this off the shelf and was like, I have to have this. The cover definitely drew me in. And this is the Psychotronic Encyclopedia of Film with over 3,000 of the wildest movies ever made. Hundreds of rare illustrations. It is the most amazing film book ever. It's by Michael Weldon. I just really love like the 80s popness of this cover. Very intriguing, but it has so many great images, and then just like it's literally just encyclopedic. Here's the movie, here's when it came out, here's the general little tiny plot. And like normally this wouldn't be something I'd be drawn to, but then I saw this and I was like, you need this. Killdozer? Come on. Like, I need it. I needed it. This is from The Howling. Like, how cool is that? So it has a bunch of, like, really great images. That'll make really great tags, I think. I would love to do, like, some movie-themed style journals. Or just, like, maybe some art pages or stuff like that. There's a lot of really fun stuff in here. I think the pages will make a great thing. But, like, look at this. So cool. So I definitely had to get this. I could not leave this behind. I am super thrilled that I took this with me. Oh, there's some stuff that'll get me demonetized. There were some boobs on a page there. But like, look, there's Christopher Lee. It's Christopher Lee's Dracula. Like, how cool is this? I really love this. And I am excited to like cut this up. This is definitely getting chopped up. This isn't going to make it to the collection because I need to make books. So yeah, I don't even know when this was from. I didn't even like look at this the way that I look at most books. I just literally was like, and once he was like, oh, you have time, I was like, this. This was, this is from 1983. Copyrighted in 1983. How neat is that? So just a bunch of like vintage classic movies. The Invasion of the Star Creatures. This is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. It's going to be the gift that keeps on giving, you guys. I'm the most excited about this. And then, just randomly, I happened to find the first volume of Heroes. And you guys remember Heroes? I loved this show. And I always wanted to like read the comic because the comic has like a lot more in-depth like story lore and stuff like that, but I never got the chance to. And then yeah, I just found the first one there, just chilling, and it's in really good condition, which is really surprising for a library comic book because a lot of times library comic books are like hit or miss and they're all tore up, and it makes me very sad. There's usually like a page or two missing, but I went over this one really carefully and it looks like every page is in here, and I'm super excited just to add this to my collection of comics. So there's all that. And then I got a couple more poetry books, so bear with me. This is the Canción, Cannibal Cabaret, and Other Songs by Amalia L. Ortiz, and I loved the cover. The cover drew me in immediately. It's very punk rock. It's very cool. I wish I was musically inclined because here's like all... Here we go. Here's all like the poetry and stuff, but they're actually like song lyrics, but the lyrics are so like rock that I'm not going to read them out loud because they're a little bit not YouTube friendly. So you guys can like pause and check it out a little bit. But they're pretty like hardcore, and I was like, this is amazing. I absolutely love this one. This is the one I read the most and spent a lot of my time staring at, so definitely pause to get a little looky there. It's just so cool. I don't know if this is going to stay in my personal collection or end up as journal stuff. It probably will stay in my personal collection, but the reason I was like, oh, I wish I could play music was that after all the poems and the lyrics, there's the sheet music, which is really neat, but I don't know how to read music and I don't know anything about it. But you know, I'm gonna have to like do some Googling and see if anybody's actually played these in a way that I can hear it, because I'm dying to know what they sound like. But she's so cool. Like, I love this. I think this is a really cool find. And then I got this one. This is Dolores Durante's copy, illustrated by Robin Myers. This was the last poetry book I got. And this one I got for these. So this is definitely going to end up as journal stuff. I thought it was really interesting that it had stuff like this in between. But I also thought that because all the poetry is like... You see, there's some real estate here. There's some open space here that I was like, you know, I could just cut these out, do some collaging, artsy, painting, whatever I want to here, leave the poem right here, and then have a cool, like, backdrop for a tag or something, or a page, or whatever I want to do, and have the poem go with it. And the poems are kind of interesting. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are a little bit, you know, whatever. I don't think poetry is necessarily bad. I just think it doesn't necessarily connect, which is okay, because it's not for you if it doesn't connect. But yeah, so I was like, this is a really interesting book, and the fact that there's so much real estate for me to use here, like, they were not shy about the use of paper in this book, because like, I can work with this. A lot can be done here, you know what I mean? So like, I thought this was really great. And the paper has like a really interesting texture. Like, it's kind of soft, like newsprint, but it's not newsprint. It's definitely sturdier than newsprint, but it's a very soft paper. And this one just came out in 2022. So it already ended up in this book. I think somebody probably donated it because I don't see any library stickers on it, which is rude. It just came out, so like I feel like this was a gift that somebody didn't want and so they donated it immediately. But yeah, I thought this one was really cool, so happy for this find. And then the last book I got was this book, which has definitely seen better days because this dust jacket is beat up. And this is in German, so I can't actually read it. But the reason I got this book is not for the cover or anything like that, because it's just a standard little funky book. But for the interior, of course, it does have some like watery damage. It is a nice aged paper. There's this this thing I can't read. Lieber Butcherfund. That's not how you say that. It's an interesting little bit of found ephemera, but I do have, like, I am working through my commissions. Some of them aren't making it to the channel because they're just sort of smaller projects. But I do have a request in my commission list for a, like, Baroque Rococo style book, and this is a Baroque Rococo style book that I don't have, like, I didn't have any before. I don't have any Baroque stuff. I don't have any cool architecture things. And you're probably like, Priscilla, that's great, but it's so plain. That's fine. I needed some blank book pages. So that's like the first half of the book is all in German. And it's all about whatever, I'm guessing, the history of the period. And then it moves into color. So there's like some cool photography. And then some really great like architecture pieces. Some cool stuff. Some paintings. These beautiful rooms. So I was like, well, this is a good starting point for that. So I haven't started that commission yet. I haven't even like fully accepted that one yet. I mean, I've emotionally, mentally, and sort of characteristically accepted it in the way that I do. But like, look how pretty that is. But you know, I started to gather some things, I guess, so to speak, along that thread. Because I don't really have anything that's close to that style yet. So I don't want to start it till I have a little bit more on hand, but I thought this was a good place to start. It's got a lot of really interesting stuff here. I don't think all of it will make it into that style of book, but it was nice to have a little bit to go off of. This is a really beautiful building. So like all this stuff will get used for other things, even if I don't use it for that. But the black and white photography is lovely. So this book is just like the gift that keeps on giving. As far as like graphics and imagery and really neat book pages in German go. So yeah, that is my little book haul from the Second Chance Public Library Bookstore. And all these books, you guys, you will probably believe it, but you might not. I only got them for $10. Everything cost me $10. Which was a steal and a half and a welcome relief because I went to a fabric store for quilting and it was expensive and my heart hurts a little bit at how much it cost. So it was sort of a soothing balm to only spend $10 and come back with a huge haul of books. So I hope that you guys liked it. If you are local, definitely go check it out. If you're not local, check it out when you are around. I don't know what to tell you guys. Definitely look for some of these books though. You guys might have a book like this in your city and you might not even know it because I didn't know it. It just so happened to be right next to the coffee shop I went to, so that was a happy find and I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing my haul. I'll catch you guys all in the next one. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate your faces, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.